Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Oh, glad to have you out here on a Sunday morning. Today is December the 11th, 2022. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. Rainy, dreary time here in Kentucky. A lot on my mind here right now. A lot going on in our world. A lot of talk about misinformation. Twitter has opened up some eyes, I think. I'm so glad Elon Musk took over Twitter. These conspiracy theories just keep being proven right. Now I'm liable to get banned from YouTube for this. YouTube and Facebook, they're not at all interested in allowing someone to have an opinion, such as myself here. Um, I don't want to get banned from YouTube because I like YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube at work watching videos, a lot of things I like. But more than that, I don't like being silenced and unable to have an opinion. So YouTube can do whatever they feel like they need to do. If I say something that's just some horrific thing. Gonna touch on some things, some gun things today, of course. Uh, I've worked on my Glock 45. I've tuned on this gun to get it to where it's just absolutely perfect for me now. I added the Hive technology. This is a +5 mag extender. You're talking about 22 +1 rounds in this gun now. Of course, I always put the matching mag release. Again, as with the 48, my favorite thing I've done to it is the precision Overwatch trigger shoe. This is not a whole drop-in trigger. This is just simply changing the trigger shoe, and it just makes these Glocks, for me at least, a million times better. It's just so much more comfortable to shoot. Um, Speaking of shooting, I've also worked on a target for my shooting range, or not my shooting range, a target that I can throw in the back of the truck and go and shoot at with a metal plate, and actually have something to try to hit. Versus my last video, we just didn't have anything. You got to have a shooting range or some type of setup if you're going to do shooting videos. Working on that. Still working 50 hours a week, plus all the projects at home and things that has to be done. So it's really hard to find time. But I like all this stuff. It's fun for me. I'm a hyper type of guy. I can't sit still, so I can't just sit and watch TV. I have to be doing something at all times, or I go kind of crazy. But yeah, Glock 45. This thing is great. There's not one in the chamber here. As you can see, this mag is loaded with some range ammo. I was wanting to go to the range today, but it's just a horrible looking rainy, dreary day, which it's been for like 6 straight days here in Kentucky now. These Glock 48s have this beveled mag well. These magazines just pop right in there easy. This is a Gen 5 Glock. I didn't really realize how many differences there was. There's several changes and tiny minor changes / improvements on these over the Gen 3s and 4s. And since I've changed these trigger things and on this and the 48 and the 26 I've got, which are older, you can tell the differences. This trigger is better. It's fantastic. This is my gun. This is my carry gun right now, and I'm not carrying it with that. This +5 mag extension, I mean, that's sort of cool and it looks good and all this stuff. It's not practical. Carry. I have this normal 17 +1 in here. Guys, if you can't get it done in 17 rounds, I mean, there's just, you've got into the office mess. You run into a war zone if 17 rounds ain't enough. Especially if you've got 2 extra mags with you. Then you're talking about, what, 34 or 51 rounds? If 51 rounds ain't enough, those extra 5 ain't going to help you. Wanted to touch on the value, the importance, the practicality, the logic. Everything is a plus in having a firearm, a pistol, that you can have and carry for self-defense, for personal protection, for war, for whatever you get into. There's a lot of shit going on in our world today, and we're going to see a lot worse. But having a firearm with a matching carbine rifle It's just the greatest thing. It is just the greatest thing. This is a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. You've seen it featured on my channel. One of the favorite guns, one of my favorite guns I've ever had. But what is so cool is you can drop this. I can have my 17 on my side. If something happens and I need the carbine, you can carry this rifle folds up and go in your backpack. It comes with a sling support. I mean, these are just easy to carry. And it's really cool to have these mags that work. It's really cool to have a carbine where the mag works in your pistol and your carbine. I mean, it's just fantastic. You go from one to the other. This is what I use at the range. This is a 34. No, I'm sorry. This is a 32 round mag. The Glock. This is not a Glock one. My Glock one's a 33 plus 1. I mean, you know, you're talking about drastically increasing your firepower, your ability to throw lead when you have a carbine and a pistol that both use the same mag. It's just great. It's just, you're not going to get a better setup. In my opinion, you're not going to get a better setup. Here's a regular Glock 17 round mag. You know, this mag will work in a 19 or 26. It'll work in a 45. It'll work in the 34. I think the 34 is the long slide edition 9mm. And it also works in my Kel-Tec Sub 2000. That's just a great thing, guys. You can have a carbine. You can have, as I said, you can have your carbine. You can have your pistol. And you don't have to worry about getting the mags mixed up. You don't have to worry about carrying twice as many mags. There's just nothing about it that isn't a win-win for you, the guy that's carrying a firearm and interested in personal protection. It's just a win-win-win in every way. I'm just tickled to death with my setup here. I got this holster for this. This is actually the 19 holster. It works just fine for the 45. I'm sorry, this is actually a 17 holster, and it works just fine for the Glock Model 45, which is a 9mm. Not to be don't confuse the Model 45 and think it's a 45 caliber. It is a 9mm. It's got the same slide as the 19, and that's a little bit shorter than the 17. That's why when that goes in there, you got a little slack on the end, but it doesn't hurt a thing. Works just fine. This is a very comfortable. Holster design and setup for walking, for standing. When you see it, this holster causes troubles though, such as when I'm driving my truck down the road, if my wife and I go to Lexington or go out of town, go on a long trip. Once we get wherever we're going, we want to go to the mall or whatever, this is fine to have on my side while we're in there walking around. And it's fine all day. I don't have a bit of trouble with this on my side all day walking. Sitting in the car, it digs in and hurts my side though. The holster, your holster is, I've always touched on it on my videos. It's just one of the most important aspects of carrying a weapon. And really, if you break it down, it's only logical that it would be. You know, if it's not comfortable, you're not going to carry it. But we're just a great setup. Just a great setup. The 17 holster will work on this. It would also work on a 19. And then if you had one of these made for a 19, it would fit this perfectly. It would the 45. It would fit the 19 perfectly, of course. And then a 17 would work in it, but the barrel would stick out a little bit. So either one of these will work for them all along that line. Now this wouldn't work on a 26. It would not work on a. Actually, I think it will work on a 23. I don't know if it says on it or not. Regardless, that's the type of things you have to research out. The Black Hawk holster's very comfortable. Like I said, very comfortable standing up, walking, all day comfort. Oh, I wanted to touch on the advantage to these holsters over some type of vinyl holster is the ability to get your firearm out quickly. You know, if you get into an old west gun shootout situation where you have to get your firearm out quickly, which is very possible. It's very possible you could need your firearm as soon as possible. Oh, that might make the difference, guys. It might make the difference. If you got a real comfortable vinyl holster or something other on your side that you can set in your car, just can't even tell it's there. And I have some holsters like that, and I really, really like them. But I've noticed when I go to grab that gun out of there, the holster wants to flip up instead of the gun slide out. And if somebody was throwing lead at you, that could very well make the difference in living and dying, or getting shot and not getting shot. We don't want to get shot. We don't want to shoot anybody either. But if it's a case of versus you versus them, if you're halfway logical, you're going to admit that you're going to put it to them. I done an update on this yesterday. I put the recoil washer in there. It's a fat nip ring washer that goes behind your bolt. It straddles the recoil spring, and it's supposed to reduce the recoil by 30%. When you fire one of these Kel-Tec Sub 2000s with this 16-inch threaded barrel, this 9mm round, the first thing you'll notice is it kicks much more than you would ever expect. Now, it's not uncomfortable, and it's not a problem, but you will notice it. Never would have thought it. Never would have thought a 9mm would have such recoil in something like this. And I don't know what the shell velocity is on the 16-inch barrel. I would guesstimate certainly well over 1,300 feet per second. Maybe more than that. I don't know. I've never seen it done, and I don't have a, what's it called? The device that you measure the velocity of a bullet with. Oh, ain't nothing like this getting old. We'll have to come up with that on the next video. But anyway, this is stuff I wanted to kind of throw out here, guys. Over penetration, I always touch on that. That right there, that is not what you want in your. That is not what you want in your firearm that's on your side while you're out in public, in my opinion. Now, I can't tell nobody what to do. Everybody can do whatever they want. I just think that's bad. That will not stop easily. That will go through a person. It will go through probably two people. That's just my opinion, but over penetration is a major problem. You don't need a lot of penetration in a carry, in a personal protection, concealed carry or open carry weapon. You just don't need a lot of you don't need a lot of penetration. You don't need a powerful bullet. It's just not needed. It's just not logical or practical. All you need is something that functions right, fits your hand right. Anything, a 22 caliber or whatever, it will stop the attacker, and that's your only purpose. That's your only logical reason for carrying a firearm. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I can't tell you what to do. We all, in traditional America, we was all allowed an opinion. We didn't have to agree with everyone's opinion. We was allowed to disagree with each other. Traditional America is dead and gone. The big tech tyrants, and they are tyrants, they own it all. They own many politicians. I probably can't say who, or I'll get banned again, stripped. I think they told me if I get banned again, I'm banned for good. So, as I mentioned, I like YouTube, so I want to be careful, but the truth's the truth. And you guys ain't stupid. But anyway, everybody have a happy Sunday. And we're approaching 15 minutes here. That's about 5 more than I want to go. We're going to have some more stuff coming, guys. Going to have some shooting videos more often. People like to watch people shoot. It's fun. We're going to do some serious shooting as far as accuracy. And then we're going to do a lot of function testing, things of that nature. But we're by no means professionals. In the sense of marksmanship, but we are professionals in terms of gun safety and being rational, logical gun owners and gun carriers. And we all have to do that. We have to be professionals on those things. We all don't have to be able to hit a dime at 50 yards, 99 times out of 100. We all don't have to do that, but we do have to be logical, rational gun owners. We have to think about the responsibility involved in carrying a firearm. We have to think about all the terrible things that can happen if we make a mistake. Even if we're defending our lives, we still cannot make a mistake, because when you start throwing lead, you can kill people. You can kill innocent people, and that's certainly not that's certainly not what any of us wants. Guys, we'll catch you on the next video.